Welcome to the Fray Flak Pack. It's Termex here, and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 video. And in today's video, I actually want to discuss a topic that's been pretty prevalent in every Borderlands game, and that is power creep. Now, for the people that do not know what power creep is, it's basically the whole concept of when a new update comes to a game, a new DLC comes to a game, or just new content in general comes to a game, that the gear and items from that content is going to be significantly better than what was already in the game. Now, this isn't the first time that power creep has ever been talked about in the Borderlands world. We've had many likes of Thick Fillet that really got into power creep early on when DLC 1 came out, but I just recently made a no DLC flak build, and I've noticed how hard it really is to use the best stuff in the game when power creep exists. I forget a lot of things along the lines like freaking the Pearl of Knowledge that gives you 90% damage for just shooting your guns. Or we could even talk about the Revolter, which gives you 200% damage for just activating your action skill or losing your shield. Things like that are pretty much power creep, and a perfect example of this is if we go into the skill trees and we look at Second Intention, right? Second Intention is one of those skills that you have to get a kill to get bonus reload speed, but if you get a crit kill, that reload speed is even higher. Now, when it's maxed out, I do believe you get 30% reload speed on a critical hit kill, and it's only for 5 seconds. But if we look into the purple tree, which is a DLC, you can get 40% reload speed for doing absolutely nothing. You're literally just playing the game and you have more reload speed. There's no strings attached. You're always going to have this. You don't need to get kills. You don't need crit kills, and it's just there. But I'm not going to say power creep is only prevalent when it comes to action skills, because it's very rare that action skills have power creep in Borderlands. But this is the first time we've added a fourth tree to the game, so it's just a little bit more obvious. And when we look into something like weapons, we look into pistols, we look into shields, the only thing I could confidently say maybe isn't power creep for flak as class mods, but then again, Zane had Seeing Dead for a long time, and that was the only way he was viable for probably 6-7 months, and you needed the DLC to even get Seeing Dead in the first place. But that brings along the subject of, should DLC items always have better weapons, better gear, stronger gear? And at the end of the day, that's really just how marketing works. It sucks. It's pretty shitty for the people that can't buy the DLCs, but you have to remember they're making content, they're putting time into content, and it costs money to produce the content. So paying back the developers is never a bad idea. And they got to give the players some sort of incentive in order to actually buy the DLC content. If it's just the same old with guns that are worse than vanilla, what incentive do you really have to buy a DLC? But there's also the flip side of this argument, to where power creep isn't necessarily a terrible thing. It evolves the game, evolves people's playstyles, and gives us more build possibilities. But if you look at some of the more powerful guns in the game, some of them are vanilla. When I was doing my no DLC flak, the Monarch, like I'm using right now, the Hellwalker, guns like that still exist. It's not like if you don't own the DLC, you cannot play the game. That is not what I'm saying whatsoever. If you don't have any DLC, you could still thoroughly enjoy this game, but your build options and gun options are going to be severely limited because you cannot do all the things that people with DLC can do. I think that's part of the reason why they made all the deluxe editions of Borderlands so cheap, because the majority of people just want to try out everything and they don't want to worry about not having a piece of content or not. And that's why Borderlands 3 is usually always on sale. It's not because the game's dying. It's not because they made bad sales. I personally think it's simply because they want everybody to own the DLC content so everybody can enjoy every aspect of the game. Because you are getting a decent amount of content for the price you are paying for Borderlands in all of its DLCs, I still kind of wish they added headhunters, but that's honestly just a topic for another video, because I'm at a point with this game to where I feel like all these last vault cards and stuff are just the closing things, and you could see the freaking events that are going to end around the second full year of Borderlands 3. And honestly, I just think it's almost time to move on to Wonderlands, and it feels crazy knowing it's almost been 2 years already. I started YouTube like around the same time Borderlands 3 came out, and it's crazy that it's honestly been that long. But I do want to know what you guys think about power creep. I did do a poll on YouTube, but those aren't always accurate. I do feel like power creep was a major problem when DLC 1 first came out. But I feel like nowadays, with how often Borderlands 3 is on sale and how easy it is to obtain all the DLCs, it's more like you need the DLCs to have the full experience. You need them to have full leeway when it comes to making specific builds or doing the maximum amount of damage, because not a lot of vanilla builds are very versatile. You have Rack Stab Flak, which is a pretty good vanilla build. You have Red Fang Gamma Burst, which is probably one of the better survivability-wise vanilla builds. And all the other characters, you gotta think, you only have like 1 or 2 viable builds for each character in vanilla that aren't unique. You know what I mean? I could run an Infinity Pistol build with a Revolter and a Pearl of Knowledge because it's a terrible weapon, don't get me wrong, but I could make it do something, you know? But you can't really do that with vanilla. You could probably find good anointments and try to make it do the most damage you can, but it's never going to be as good. Also, if you guys are curious what build I'm doing in the background, that is actually my Gravity Trap Flak build that I have been working on. Been having a lot of fun working on this build. It's actually a pretty fun build. I have a lot to say about Gravity Trap and all of its uses in a future video, but for today's topic on the video with Power Creep, I really want to know what you guys think about Power Creep. Does it matter to you that DLCs have better gear, or do you feel like it's just a normal thing that DLCs need to provide in order to incentivize players to actually obtain them? And the Power Creep isn't as bad as a lot of different games. You have to give Borderlands a little bit of credit. There is still viable vanilla weapons and vanilla gear, but let's be honest, the fun stuff is DLC Power Creep, in all honesty. And a lot of people aren't going to understand that when I say Power Creep, I do not mean that there's an assault rifle better than this assault rifle. It means that something is doing something better than something that already exists and basically makes it obsolete. Kind of like when the Sandhawk first came out before it got nerfed. That thing was Power Creep to the max. There was no other reason to use any other sniper. Kind of like when the Ion Cannon first came out. That was a DLC 1 weapon. It was broken as shit, and it one-shot everything in the game. And yeah, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to Power Creep. It hasn't been as bad as of now, but of course it's getting better. It's not as bad as it used to be. But yeah, guys, that's honestly just my honest thoughts on Power Creep. In all honesty, I don't think it hurts the game too much, as it's not like they're selling it for a solid $150 24/7. I see Borderlands 3 on sale at least every other week. I never really see it at full price, and if I do, it's a rare occurrence. But that's just my opinion. I don't think Power Creep is a huge deal. I think when Power Creep is done right, it's actually a healthy thing for the game. But when you do Power Creep wrong, Ion Cannon, then that's where it starts to kind of fall off in terms of you got to get this DLC so you can get this amazing rocket launcher. But now it's just like, you could get the DLC if you want. You could still enjoy the game without it. And that's what I like about Borderlands. I like that they took that direction and they didn't just sell their vanilla players short with absolutely nothing to do. I do kind of wish they made things like vault cards, like non-DLC, but then again, that's just another incentive. I always thought maybe it would be cool to have even vanilla players just do challenges and such. But Director's Cut is $15, and I see it on sale quite often as well. But yeah, guys, that's just my opinions on everything. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you leave a like on it, as it helps me out a lot and spreads my Borderlands videos to the Borderlands 3 community. And make sure you subscribe so you never miss out on another Borderlands 3 video from me. I hope you guys have a terrific day, and I'll see you guys later.